It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it to your friends. Come on.
Come on, come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is tight. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You're still troubled in your home. Got your tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your wealth. Keep it moving, spirit flowing because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 and 9, and it's on.
Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show at night, people. It's the Sinclair Show in partnership with WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9, and Greenville Pit Access Television TV 23. The Sinclair Show is sponsored by Carver Cigars. What's your Carver moment? And the Interdenominational Spiritual Training, where increasing your knowledge and relationship with God goes hand in hand. You can catch the Sinclair Show on Sinclair TV, GPAT TV 23. Check your local listings for times and dates. You can also watch on Facebook at The Sinclair Show.
Man, what is going on, my good people out there in radio and TV land? Once again, it is on, and your boy is glad to be participating with you all tonight once again. I know y'all could have been anywhere else, but you decide you chime in with me. Uncle Cindy saying that's what I like right there. Let me see. Of course, I want to thank you all for continuing to send your mailbag questions and comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many as possible each night that I'm on the air to reach you, my valued listeners. This show is interactive, so when you hit me up, whether you hit me up in the DM, email, some of y'all be trying to figure out where you can call me. Stop trying to call me, leaving crazy messages. How y'all get my number anyway? I got to start checking my outer profile to see how y'all. Oh, that's right. I do got a number up there. My bad. That's how y'all been getting me. Anyway, so check this out. First of all, let me see who's out there. Oh, Nikki Carter then jumped on first. Nikki Carter, how you still be on the show? I thought I banned you for about a hot 30 days. Gwendolyn, let me see. Gwendolyn Lady Elegance Pritchett, y'all know where she's from. She's from Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. That's right. Look at my mama. Hey, mama. Stephanie Tillman, glad to see you. Let me see. Charmant Hall Stephen. What's going on, girl? Glad to see you as well. Oh, there go Big Rod. Jake is in his house. Everything gonna be lovely tonight. We missing some people, but hey, if you ain't on the plane when the plane take off, the plane does not wait. That's what we better let some of these cats know. The plane does not wait for those who are not on board. By the time you hear the pilot say, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for flying on Sinclair Air. And we're going to have, they're going to show you in a few moments how to fasten your seatbelts and what to do in case we fall up out the sky. Okay, continue to fly with us, and our altitude is going to be 23,000 feet. When you hear him doing all that, the doors closed, they ain't really messing with you no more. All right. Annie Moore, what's going on? Glad to see you. See, people, all y'all got to do is just give him a little few seconds. Jay Dizzle, what's going on with the big homie? See, that's what I'm talking about right there. All right. So, people, let me tell y'all something. Oh, first of all, let me let y'all know something. COVID ain't gone nowhere. Do y'all know I've been doing my due diligence, and COVID is still out here creeping up and acting up on y'all, and y'all out here playing. Stop playing with COVID. That vid is serious. Some of y'all gonna be sitting around here right now with some headaches. Telling me I don't know why my head is hurting. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell y'all something funny. But when I tell it to you, I don't need y'all to be laughing at me. Okay. I know my mama's probably gonna be laughing because she done heard this little story before. But let me tell y'all something. Now, y'all know I always be talking about my grandma, right? So my grandma was one of them sticklers for Clorox. I don't care if she was cleaning up indoors, outdoors, cleaning some buckets or anything. She always be talking about some Clorox. So, I tend to like to clean up and use Clorox, right? So let me tell y'all something funny. I don't even know if I ought to tell y'all. Because if I tell y'all, some of y'all gonna be like, this dude's stupid. But I'm gonna tell you anyway. Okay. That's how we gonna rock. Cause y'all right here with me. So yesterday, I decided, hey, it's time to give the bathroom a thorough cleaning. So I decided I'm gonna go in there with my Clorox and I'm put it in a spray bottle, right? Everything is all good. It sounds like everything's moving according to the cleaning plan, if you will, if that makes sense. So then, in the process of me doing all that, I began to notice, let me see who's out there. Ty Matthews, what's going on? Glad to see you. So I begin to notice as I start to spray everything down, and some of y'all ain't never cleaned up before. So let me just tell you, I was in there, I was spraying down everything. I took all the little rugs and stuff out of there so it wouldn't bleach them and get them with the white spots on them, right? Ty said I was trying to suck all the air out of my lungs. Yeah, probably so. Let me see who this is. James Key, what's going on? So anyway, I'm spraying down the bathroom. I'm spraying down everything. I'm talking about I'm moving quick with the spray. I'm like, it's like I'm in Vietnam and I'm just spraying everything down. And so suddenly, or maybe not so suddenly, depends on how long I was actually in there, I started feeling like I was feeling a little lightheaded. But I was like, I got to get the mission done. The mission has to be accomplished. And the mission is to clean up the bathroom. So I'm walking around and I'm spraying and I'm cleaning and I'm cleaning and I'm spraying and I'm doing it all. And suddenly, I go from feeling simply lightheaded to I'm not moving. It seemed like the room done slowed down. And you ever get so lightheaded that you say, well, let me just sit down for a second, right? And so your boy wind up sitting down on the floor a little bit, okay? Nikki Carter, I don't know what you're laughing at, girl. You so close to getting kicked off this show. But anyway, Cassandra Key, what's going on? Glad to see you. So anyhow, I'm in the bathroom and I got the whole bathroom sprayed down except for one little section of the floor. And I find myself sitting on that little section of the floor. You supposed to spray and go. Whatever. You ain't no cleanologist. You ain't got no information on cleaning with Clorox. Get up off here. So anyway, so I'm in here spraying and then I sit down on the floor because I need to catch my breath. But you ever spray so much Clorox that you can't make it to the door and you be trying your best to get to the door? It's like being in one of them movies and I couldn't get... I just felt like I wasn't going to make it. And I'm saying to myself, now I know I'm not going to die in this bathroom. And when they open the door, they're going to be like, well, how did the man pass out? Well, he passed out from some Clorox. So people, that's what wound up happening. So I was in there laid up on the bathroom floor trying to gasp for Uncle Cindy Sin's last little piece of breath. And somehow, because I rocks with God, right? Some of y'all don't rock with him. That's why y'all might not have made it out the bathroom. But because I rocks with him, he gave me just enough strength. He allowed me to muster up Clorox intoxicate. You know what? Y'all, if Nikki Carter say one more simple thing, we gonna ban her. But anyway, so I make it out the room, right? And I close the door behind me. So now I'm in my bedroom because it's the bathroom in the master, right? So I make it out there and I crawl and I make it to being on top of the bed, right? And I lay there. And people, this is real talk from your boy. It was like the world was spinning and it was some colors. Now, I ain't see the light at the end of the tunnel because, that's what folks be lying, talking about they doing. Oh, man, I knew I was checking out because I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. It wasn't no tunnel. It was like little specks of colors. And I'm sitting up here and I'm trying my best to get some pure air. And I got the ceiling fans on and I got floor fans on and the AC blowing, but all I could smell is Clorox, right? And so I just remember going to sleep. Now, you ain't supposed to go to sleep. I do know that. I done watched enough doctor movies and shows that know when you feel like you about to pass out, you're supposed to try to stay woke, but I couldn't. And so this was probably around maybe, I want to say it could have been 10 or 11 in the daytime. And I was going in and out off and on. And finally, I think I got my full, well, no, let me not lie. I didn't get my full legs up under me. I was still feeling sick about 6 o'clock in the evening. Okay. Did you dilute with a little water? Did you hear, Nikki Carter, did you hear me say anything about I diluted? If I'd have diluted it, I wouldn't be having this story to tell y'all. No, I didn't dilute it. Get up off my show. Anyway, so about 6 o'clock, I'm feeling some kind of way. Yeah, Johnny. Nope, it was no dilution to it. So I'm feeling some kind of way, and I'm laying in the bed, and now I'm feeling real nauseous, super nauseous. And then yeah, she's deluded, demented, whatever, James. You about on the right path. So I'm in this space, and I'm trying. You ever felt like you wanted to I need to throw up to get this feeling out of me, but I can't at that time. You can't eat nothing because you feel sick. You can't drink nothing. So then what I do, I managed to get up, right? Ty said, you're trying to gas yourself. I wasn't trying to. Nigga said, Johnny Kesey, he didn't know what he was doing. Ooh, it's always one or two. But anyway, so I managed to get myself together. And I got enough energy to get up because I figured if I could, like when you're in the hospital, they'll give you a cup of ice to chew on. So I went and got me. Fortunately, my refrigerator will chop up the ice. So I got me some chopped up ice, and I went and I laid my weak self back across the bed, and I was chewing on some ice. Still didn't do much for me. And I wound up taking some, I forgot what it was. It was some pill Camille gave me, but you had to keep your eye on folks, because folks will try to kill you when they know you're right on the edge. So sometimes you were more dead than alive. So it's supposed to have been something. It wasn't Dramamine. I remember asking for Dramamine, and fellas out there, I want y'all to understand something. When you feel like you on death's door and you ask for one thing and somebody give you a totally different kind of pill, and then they be talking about, oh, just take this. It's just like it. I don't know if that's the best thing in the world. But anyway, so finally, later on, I take the pill, right? And later on, maybe about 40 minutes later, I'm able to throw up and I get it all out my system. But now I'm weak and I'm scared to eat anything. So I'm caught in a limbo, if you will. So I try to sleep it off. And admittedly, I didn't sleep that well. That's another story for another day. However, I woke up this morning and I felt like I was 50-50 all right. All right. So I'm just trying. The moral of the story for you Negroes out there in cleaning land is don't be playing with straight Clorox, because you're not going to win the battle, especially if you're in a closed-in area. Now, in truth, this ain't the first time I done poisoned myself with some Clorox, and my mama told me today, she was like, you ain't gonna get too many more times to do that before you be all the way out messing around with some cleaning supplies. What is you sprayed too much at one time? You know what, Annie Moore? Now, what made you figure that out? Yeah, I sprayed too much, but it was that I went full strength too. Okay. Moral of the story is read the directions. You know what? You want me to tell you what the moral of the story really is? That when you don't want some people on your show, all you got to do, let me see if I think there's a little button up here. You click this, it says block users or delete comments. I bet you I know how to read them directions. April Brown, glad to see you. Happy Wednesday, folks. All right. You late to the show, but we'll let you slide. So anyway, people, that was my little tidbit of personal knowledge for y'all today. Watch what you're doing when you're cleaning up. All right. So if y'all see me drinking more water tonight, then hold on. Cassandra said, get you a cleaning person. Oh, well, I know Margaret Key is rolling over in her grave listening to you talk about getting a cleaning person. Corey Parks, what's going on, man? When would your grandma have ever wanted to hear you talking about you couldn't clean your own bathroom? I'm so disappointed. But yeah, so I just letting y'all know that that's what happened to your boy, but I made it. I didn't see the bright lights at the end of the tunnel. So I guess if you don't see the bright lights, you're still good. All right. So I'm still good for the moment. But I have still been feeling a tad bit queasy today. I've been moving a little slower than normal. Okay. So anyway, but let's see what we're going to talk about tonight. We got some good topics tonight. You know what? I'm gonna start with this one. I was trapped in deciding whether I was gonna start with this one, but this was such a crazy thing that and so many of y'all sent it to me. This is what I don't understand is this. All right, about 15 people sent me this thing and said, Sinclair, I need you to talk about this on your show. And y'all sent me the link. It says, woman goes crazy on her baby daddy for only bringing food for his kid and none of her other kids. And the link is down there at the bottom. And after the show, I want y'all to go look at it. And I want y'all to, ladies, if y'all ever ran the Me Too movement on me before, I know you're going to do it tonight. Because I'm about to tell y'all about yourselves. All right. First of all, I knew this was going to be a hot topic because 15 people sent it to me. And, you know, since I was halfway passed out yesterday, I didn't know nothing about this, but I watched it today. And ladies, matter of fact, for those of you who are not up to speed on it, when the video comes on, this lady is narrating because apparently every day or every other day, this lady has 4 kids. 4. And I don't know who the other 3 are by, but one of them is by this particular dude that she's called herself, she gonna put on blast. So before he gets there, she begins narrating it. Because she's steaming mad. And why is she steaming mad? She is steaming mad because he decided, hold on, Nikki Carter talking about both are wrong. Nikki Carter, I ain't even told the story yet. Let me delete you out of here. All right. So what happens is she begins narrating the story talking about she gonna put him on blast because April said, nope, she's wrong. Man, y'all must have saw this. So anyway, when he pulls up, he's got a McDonald's bag and a McDonald's drink. And she was like, before he gets there, she's like, I bet he get out the car and he ain't got enough for all the kids, whatever. So she goes in on him as soon as he get out. I know you don't think you just gonna get that you just gonna roll up here with something for one of the kids and not all of the kids and this. And she's really going in on this dude. And he says to her, look, them not my kids. And she says, well, you can't just pull up here and think you're gonna give one of the kids some a McMeal, if you will, and the rest of them aren't going to get anything. That ain't right. This and that. And so he was like, look, I'm doing right by my child. The rest of your kids are not my kids. So she said, but they his siblings. He was like, but that don't mean I'm supposed to take care of them. Do you need to be talking to they daddies about bringing them something by or whatever? She's livid, going off left and right. Start talking about when she get a food stamp, stuff that ain't had nothing to do with the topic. So he's asking her sensible questions. He's like, so you think that I'm supposed to take care of all of the kids that ain't mine in order to give my son a Happy Meal. And she is absolutely livid about it, to the point where they go back and forth for a minute. And nigga said, if it was one time, absolutely, he keeps doing it. You know what? I can't wait to finish telling this. So anyway, in the end, he says, well, look, if you got a problem with me bringing my son some food and him eating it there, send him out. I'll take him riding. He could go eat with me in the car. And she was like, no, give me that. So he gave her the cup and the bag. She throws the cup in the street, the bag on the ground. And at some point he gets in his car and drives off. He don't go left. He don't do what some would have did. Now, first of all, now that y'all got the basis of this story, let me begin by saying this. And I think I'm comfortable using hold up, there go my big dog. What's up, brother Sizemore? He says if he's not dating her or married to her, then he's not obligated to take care of them. Absolutely, big dog. Ty said, oh, she wrong. Absolutely. But let's look at one of our more combative people. Now, Nikki Carter said, if it was one time, absolutely, he keeps doing it. Let me tell you something, Nikki. And I want Nikki and the rest of you all to understand what I'm about to say. And I don't care about your personal feelings. Okay? I want you to process this. And if you don't like it, you can stop coming to the show. I need you to understand that y'all so busy. Some of you all, let me clarify this. Rewind that. There are a particular sector of women who are so busy being victims about something. Now, if he wasn't coming by at all, you would have a problem with it saying he's a deadbeat. Okay? But he comes by on a regular basis to do something for his child. It is not his fault that you have 3 other children by 1, 2, or 3 other men. Okay? It was as he should. He has 1 child. That's the only child he has to take care of. Absolutely. Gwendolyn Lady Exit said not his responsibility to take care of other kids, period. Absolutely. Nikki Carter says not true. I don't care nothing about what you say, Nikki Carter. I'm gonna give you your little 30 seconds of fame. Jane says she never mentioned the other fathers. Well, technically she did. He asked her about whether or not she done reached out to them or not. Now, she wanted to focus on him. Okay. April G. Brown is poor taste. What's poor taste? That he brings his own son something? If your son or your child, let's say it's not even a son, let's say it's a daughter. If your child, now hold on, April, you writing the whole thing. Said there shouldn't be an expectation of a man to drop $40 every meal for not his children. And why can't she feed all her children without food stamps? He's not obligated to spend $40 every time his child wants to eat something. Is he supposed to take her other children to school shopping, buy them shoes, take them on vacation? Nope, none of that. If her children had nothing to eat, she should have humbled herself and asked, could or would he buy groceries so her dumb self could cook for all them? Wow. Okay. You might not like it, but I believe April is on to something. James said, nope, it's not honorable. What's not honorable, James? Before I make a comment to that, I want to make sure I know what you're talking about. What's not honorable? Okay. Cassandra said, I disagree. The adults are both wrong for how they handled it. At the end of the day, as an adult, the children are the primary subject here. Well, Cassandra, let me ask you a question. What was he wrong about? I want to understand this because I'm disconnected in my logic for understanding how is it that a man becomes responsible for doing something for children that are not his and then being denied the opportunity to take care of his own biological child. I want to know how that comes into play. Ty says facts. I'm not arguing the facts. He should bring something for the other kids. No, he shouldn't. Okay. Okay, James said he's honorable for feeding his child. You're absolutely right, James. I agree with you. Cassandra says, I would never bring food for one child when there are four, regardless of mine or not. Okay, Cassandra, I'm not saying logically that you're wrong for saying emotionally what you would do. It's a honorable thing. But if he goes by to see his child at lunchtime and drops his child off for something, let me see. Ty says maybe he only had a few dollars and didn't have enough money to buy all those other children something to eat, and maybe he just wanted to make sure his son was covered. Absolutely. Abra said his child is his primary concern. James says since it was a problem, then he was making sure his child ate. All right. Nicky Carter said he is not responsible for the other kids. We know that. All right. So let me go back to Cassandra. Cassandra makes an excellent point. She says it's not emotion, that's common sense, period. No, Cassandra, now I was getting ready to give you credit. I still am. Detective Pamela Black, glad to see you. Cassandra, I want to, people, let's stick with Cassandra for a second. Cassandra, while she says it's not emotional, it is emotional. And let me explain to you why it is. You say, and let me go back to your statement so everybody can see it. Your statement initially was, I, meaning you, would never bring food for one child when there is four, regardless if they were yours or not. Okay, great. That's personal. That's what you wouldn't do. Let's break this down into two different things. One, we're talking about an emotional, and we're talking about a liability perspective, meaning what is he liable to do as a man? Remember, he's not married to her. Those kids aren't his kids. His child, he has consistently stopped by on his lunch or whatever to bring his child something. Now, at what point is he required? What point does it become common sense that if you're going to bring your child something, you got to buy food for everybody in the house? That doesn't make sense. I can respect it if it's an emotional thing, because that's how you personally feel inside. And what that simply makes you is a good person. That makes you a thoughtful person. But to assess that the only common sense people would do it, that's not the case. He's not under any obligation. As a matter of fact, let me be the first to say this. Hold on for a second. Let's see. Everybody say he's not obligated to take money out of his home to take care of children. It's not his responsibility. I concur. Nigga said it can cause conflict amongst the siblings. I concur. It can. James said when we don't know enough why he was doing this on a regular. All right. Maybe say she can't take him to court for the other children, therefore he has no obligation. That's a very good legal point. Brother Sizemore said I would bring them all food, but I'm not obligated, and the mother is unfair to require that. All right, I could deal with that. Ty says I'm thinking coins are tight these days, and sometimes you can't afford to feed everybody in the house. James says she already said that she didn't get her stamps to the 11th, so he knew to make sure his child ate when the other dads didn't. All right. Cassandra said, I'm a divorced parent and my daughter has two other siblings. When she goes to visit, I always ask if they have eaten before I get there. It's the right thing to do. Cassandra, let me say this as a matter of principle and fact. I'm not arguing the point about whether it's the morally sensitive thing to do. But when you say something is the right thing to do, it implies that if you do it another way, it's wrong. He is not wrong for not providing for everybody else in the house. He's just not. You can't say he's legally wrong for it. You cannot say he's morally wrong for it. Okay? I concur with you that it would be nice if he did it. And I commend you as a woman if you do that. I'm not saying that a man is wrong if he does it, But I am saying that if every time he goes to see his child, he's got to take something for everybody in the house, or the food gets thrown on the ground or thrown in the street, y'all crazy and she crazy. Okay. Matter of fact, tell me this, people. April says she should have allowed his son to go outside as the dad requested. Absolutely. Never forget, if this was about the other ones not having, he said, send my son out here and he could go eat in the car with his dad. She didn't want that to happen either. James said, exactly. Let me see what we got. Nikki Carter said, Cassandra on spot. I'm not caring nothing about what you're saying. Ty said, I'm sorry, Cassandra, I understand what you're saying, but everybody cannot afford to do that for everybody. And people, let me be clear about something. If she has 4 children and receives food stamps, why didn't she have enough food in the house? Did she sell them? If so, she should have bought a month's worth of food before selling. Now, let me say this, April. Pamela German, glad to see you. I try to make it my practice that we do not assume facts not in evidence, all right? Let me see. Rod said, I was waiting for this one. Why does a good man always get the blame for doing the right thing when the deadbeat dads get away with it? You know what, Big Rod, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't want to say it at first. I didn't want to be the first one to jump off this ledge, but I'm glad you didn't open the door. We about to break ground on this one. Big Rod, I'm going to read yours one more time. He said he was waiting for this one. Why does a good man always get the blame for doing the right thing when the deadbeat dads get away with it? Let me tell y'all something. Cassandra said, need more facts. This is just one scenario. Well, Cassandra, unfortunately, all we could go off is, if you go watch the video, you're going to see what I saw, okay? Now, I don't want to add any facts, but I'm not going to. James, my point, Sizemore said, you on point, Rod. Absolutely. He didn't open the door. She stated she receives food stamps. I only asked the question, did she sell them? Hey, there's nothing wrong with asking the question. Yvonne Rouse, what's going on? Glad to see you. So let's go back to Brother Rod. Brother Rod, he done opened the doors. So let me talk about this. I'm amazed at how easily, and then most of the time it's because, and again, since the Me Too movement gonna already get me for tonight's show, let me just say this with all level of sincerity. I'm amazed at how you can have dads that don't step up to the plate as they should. Dads that don't necessarily spend the time. This man come by all the time to see his son. Dads that anybody, I ain't talking about telephone dads. I'm talking about dads. This dude is in the trenches. He physically stopping by to see his son. We talking about he wrong for bringing his child something to eat. But we ain't said nothing about the other 3 that ain't doing nothing. And Rod is absolutely right. Magically, ladies, y'all love them deadbeats to death. You'll extend yourself, go to the end of the earth for them. You keep them jokers involved and entertained on anything, while the Negro that is under no obligation but is doing what he's supposed to do, doing the best he can by his, what does he get? He making headlines because women talking about he wrong. Wrong for what? Deshaun Key, what's going on, my brother? What is he wrong for? He wrong because he don't want to face. Matter of fact, Cassandra, since you got all that intel, and again, I ain't knocking you because I believe you to be a good woman just because what you said you would do. But here's the question I want to put on top of that. How would you feel if you was a woman? You are a woman, but if you was a woman married to a man that had one son, and every time he got ready to go and do something for his son, he had to buy something for everybody in the house, which essentially was 3 other mouths. And he was taking, you saw this coming out the bank account. How would you feel? The first thing most of you women would feel is this. You would say, oh, it must be going, something must be going on. You must be sleeping with her. You must be trying to holler at her or something. Okay. That's how y'all would really do. We don't know about the other 3. We know the other 3 ain't his. What is you talking about? Remember, the facts are not entered into evidence. I'm only talking about the facts that are. She said she got 3 other kids for a total of 4. She said he is the one that don't bring something around for the other kids. He asked her, what are you doing? You need to get with the other baby daddies about them. I'm responsible for my son. All I'm talking about is facts that's in evidence. I'm not talking about this other foolishness. Okay. But I am saying I agree with Brother Rod and some of the others that it is a slap in the face. As the shepherd, what's going on? It's a slap in the face. James says she's doing it because he's doing right. I agree with you 100%, James. Because I'm telling you, it's magical. It is magical how y'all do when it comes to them dudes that's part-timing it. It just is above and beyond. Y'all love them dudes to death. The ones that you got to drag around through court and beg to get your money and beg and plead for them to come around and see your child. You love them to death. But this brother stopping by every day to make sure his son good. Black man doing it. See, he ain't getting props for that. We on this show right now talking about him, and many of y'all trying to say he wrong for doing the right thing by his child. When y'all same women, ain't no way in God's green earth that you would be comfortable with your man taking care of a house full of somebody else's kids. If your man told you, or if you saw in that bank account where every time he went to see Shaniqua, that he was taking out $50 or $60 extra, and if he said, oh, no, I just bought little man something, if that man sat down and told you, well, I wind up buying something for all the kids, you're going to look at him like, hold on. You buying something for all the kids in there, what they daddy's doing? That's who the conversation should have really went about. And you all wonder why somebody optically views the way that some Negro women are characterized on social media is because stuff like that. Y'all wonder why brothers out here be on edge all the time, because it don't matter whether they do the right thing or not. You all have this women's huddle ministry that y'all find a way to find the worst in a man. And it's really, quite honestly, it's really appalling. As a man, I get sickened by it. Let me see. Brother Rod said the fact is she didn't have enough money left on her food stamps. A woman get the pass and place the blame on him for not feeding her other kids. When he goes to court, he goes for his son. Big Rod represent. Nigga said if it was once or twice, I wouldn't have. Nikki, I don't care if he did it 100 times and you got a problem with it. He's not required to feed everybody in the house. And for y'all to even say that, first of all, half y'all lying. I'm not saying all y'all, but half y'all lying. And half y'all saying that because of the emotion of, you know what? Well, if I was a woman, this is how I would want something. Uh-oh, Big Deshaun guy's putting in work. Let me see what he said. The other three aren't his, though. I would understand if they were, but call the other baby daddies and tell them to feed their children. Make it make sense. Y'all better listen to these young men. Y'all better listen to these young college men. He just gave y'all some advice. I've been trying to say it for 20 minutes. Y'all ain't get me. So let me reread what Deshaun said. He said the other three aren't his. I'd understand it if they were, but call the other baby daddies and tell them to feed their children. Make it make sense. All right? Run that. And nigga, stop trying to play the middle of the road. You done said he ain't required. We know. So stop talking about the dude. Abel said it makes no sense. Absolutely it doesn't make sense. And what doesn't make sense even more is y'all keep talking about ain't no good men out there. This dude a good dude. He trying. He doing his part. But y'all will run down any black man. And you know what? Let me tell y'all what happens. Y'all have become so strong with this Me Too movement that it doesn't matter if it's common sense or not. It doesn't matter if it's stepping up to the plate or not. If y'all don't like something, y'all defend it tooth and nail. I promise you, you find me one woman up here that's piping off at the gums about you don't like something, and you ask her if that video was of her brother doing the best that he could by his, would she feel the same way? Most of y'all gonna say no. Because the question that many of y'all, I've heard a couple of people allude to, we don't know what that dude's financial situation is. He could be taking his lunch money for himself and using it on his son every day and doing what he got to do. But y'all don't consider that. You worried about she ain't got something for the other ones. Now, some of y'all have ventured off into areas that I won't. What in the world Nikki talking about? It's just the principle of being for one, bringing for one, regardless of being a good dude. No, them ain't the principles. Ty said facts. Everybody say, I get sick of good men, dads being dragged by trifling women that made and or continue to make bad decisions. Hey, I can't do number rock with what April said on that. But I'm telling y'all this because women, y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better. I'm tired of men being told they got to do better. What more you got to do as a man than provide for yours? Okay, I don't comprehend this. Nobody said nothing. Nobody brought up the point that she got 4 kids and no husband. We didn't bring that up because it's irrelevant at this particular point. But she didn't indicate when he said to her, you need to call them other baby daddies. Okay, let me tell you what she didn't say. Hold on for a second. Deshaun said that's far from the principles. Hey, I'm rocking with you that on Deshaun. Robin Williams said, good evening, everyone. Let me tell you what didn't come out in the facts category. When he brought up the other baby daddies, she didn't say the father of those kids had passed away. You could give her a pass if she had 4 other kids and the father of those kids had passed away. But she didn't say that. So when he brought him up, that didn't come out. She didn't say he was locked up. The father of those kids, 1, 2, or 3, is locked up. He inferred you need to call them, and she didn't ever on, hold on for a second. Rod said instead of shaming the man, she could have asked him to get something that would help them all. But in her efforts to make him look bad, she made herself look bad. I agree. Maurice, people, what's going on, my brother? Glad to see you. Facts not in evidence, but does she work to provide for her 4 children? I don't know. That's not something that I have, and I'm not tackling that because I feel like if I go down some of these roads, that it's going to differ from this situation. The fact of the matter is this. I agree with those of you who said it would have been nice. I don't have any problem with anybody that said it would have been nice if he did. Except for one of the things we know to be factual is she said he does this all the time. So this is a man taking care of his child and he's doing it on a regular basis. So for those of you women who says you can't bring your son nothing if you don't bring nothing for the other 3 kids that ain't his. And she said, well, you knew I had 3 kids when you slept with me and got me pregnant. Really? That's your answer to why he got to help take care of your other 3. Y'all ain't together. He done moved on. He's just trying to be a good dad and take care of his. Y'all ain't got no problem with that. How is that humanly possible? See, ladies, that's why you lose credibility. Let me see what Deshaun said. You dragging this man on the internet for what? Nobody needed to know what was going on in her household. That's just blasphemy, honestly. The people that agree with her are just as wrong as she is. Man, I'm going to start. Deshaun, you're going to keep on. I'm going to send you a microphone and a camera to wherever you at. You're going to be a regular on the show because you ain't speaking nothing but facts, brother. Ty said, and you said in the lead that she took the food that he purchased for his son and threw it in the streets. That ain't what you do when you got a kid that's hungry. Hey, I told y'all, I put the link down there so y'all can watch it for yourself. Now think about it, people. She gonna say, and I want to reiterate to you all something for those of y'all that's been talking about this man like he ain't nothing. He gave her another option. He said, hey, send my son out here. I'll take him for a ride. He could eat lunch with his daddy and I'll bring him back. And she said no and threw it on the ground. All right. April said, and if her children were really hungry, she requested help from family and friends. Her venom is too strong to be humble. I mean, people, think about this. She began videoing before he got there. So undoubtedly, he had hit her up and told her, hey, I ain't that far off. I'm bringing little man some food, whatever, however it went down. She began shooting this video because she was going to prove the point. The same point that y'all around here rocking with. And ladies, I cannot stress it enough. You lose all credibility when you find something wrong, even with a man that's doing right by his child. How can somebody trust your judgment? Our girl, Star Coleman. What's going on, Star? She said, hi, peeps. I don't know what's going on entirely, but from the experiences I've been in a situation where my youngest two fathers would do this when he calls himself being mad with me. Children have feelings. I understand him feeding his child, but in situations like this, she was totally wrong. See, I could rock with Star. Star didn't say he was a bad dude. Now, she said in her situations, he wouldn't buy the other, her children's father sometimes would do that when they was mad with her. He was wrong if he did it for spite. Okay. But she even said, but the lady was wrong for this. All right. Let me see. Deshaun said, I might have to, Sinclair, because some of the comments are just confusing me. All right, my brother, I got you. Let me see. Nikki Carter said, but she asked him to stop and he keeps doing it. That's why she shot the video. First of all, she asked him to stop bringing his child lunch. What in the Sam Blazing Hills is wrong with society when you sitting up talking about this dude got to stop bringing his if he stopped bringing his child lunch, if he stopped doing what he's supposed to do, then he'll be the deadbeat dad. So because he didn't stop when she said, oh, don't bring him nothing. What's wrong with her going to get her son and letting him come outside and ride around with his dad and eat in the car? What was wrong with that? Anybody? Y'all don't want to talk about that because you're more comfortable painting a Negro male as a villain, even when he's doing right. I ain't seen y'all give no oxygen to the dads that ain't doing nothing. Okay? I ain't seen y'all get that no energy. And that's what Rod was talking about. Rod was saying, look, y'all ain't even talking about the bigger thing. I'm not blaming her because I don't know her situation, but it's hard for me to believe that you in a situation and you mad at the one dude doing the right thing. Ty said, I'm taking Hassan for a ride and feeding him away from the other children was his way of trying to be considerate to her circumstance. You're right. I agree. Ty said, I'm taking his son to eat with her away from him. Okay, yeah, you're right. Let me see. But he was doing it to. No, he wasn't. Nikki Carter, hold on. First of all, this ain't about her. And she said he been bringing his son lunch every day. And it's so easy for a bitter woman to say he's doing it just to mess with me. You think so highly of yourself that you think the world centers around you and your feelings. It doesn't. You ain't got no facts to say he was doing because he didn't do what she told him to do. You don't get to tell that man what to do about his own child. You just as crazy as she is. He's not all innocent upstanding. Well, I tell you what he is. James said she could have let him take his son to eat. Hey, same thing we said. Right. Now, if he fed the kids beforehand, no problem at all. First of all, Deshaun say, even if he was, that's irrelevant, ma'am. Absolutely. Get her, Deshaun. That's what I'm talking about. I'm Nikki, I'm telling you, I don't know if you know how foolish you sound, but you ain't winning. You're not winning any of these dialogues by making it seem like your mind is so jaded that you're talking about he was doing it to mess with her. That's the problem with women now. Some women, not all, get in their minds that there is a controllable situation with the child. We're talking about, oh, he brought his son something just to mess with me, but he do it every day. So what would you say the baby daddies who ain't doing nothing, what would you say they doing? If him doing something for his is to spite you, what is the baby daddies that ain't doing nothing? What would you call that? April said, Nikki Carter, is it you in the video? You sound like it's personal to you. Wow. I ain't gonna say none, but I'm rocking with power to the people on that one. From the jump, I said they were both wrong. No, Nikki, they ain't both wrong. That's how y'all call yourselves splitting the hairs with it. We ain't splitting nothing. He ain't wrong for doing the right thing by his. And he ain't wrong for not doing the right thing by hers. They hers. She ought to be figuring out how she could get the Happy Meals. Matter of fact, why you at the house in the middle of the daytime anyway? Let's ask that question. Maybe everybody could get Happy Meals if you were somewhere at work. How about that? Because if every day he leave work to bring his son food, maybe you ought to go to work. James said, but she threw the food away and didn't even buy it. Yeah, that's another point, James. How is bringing his son food messing with her? She needs to get out her feelings and shift her paradigm. Wow, I'm glad somebody, boy, y'all are giving Nikki some education. Never had that problem. I don't know if you had it or not. All right, Sinclair, what's next? Hey, I'm trying to go to the next subject, but this is juicy. I want y'all to leave with something that y'all can sprinkle on your spirit, because some of y'all act a little bit crazy, and we finally get an example of a good man once again being drugged down. And Miss Nikki Carter is the official show antagonist. Don't worry, she gonna get deleted. Ever say, if I'm taking care of his child, if him taking care of his child is messing with her, she has her priorities all messed up. Say it again. All right, look, people, we gonna. I know I'm gonna get some hate mail for this one, but we're gonna go to the next thing because I still want to get at least one or two other things. Okay, we could do this one real quick. Y'all boy, Kell's got a 30-piece McNugget sentence today. They sentenced R. Kelly to 30 years in prison for federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges. Let me see what Rod say. Rod said this was a no-win situation for the man. She was hell-bent on making him look bad. The bottom line is, she is the deadbeat, and exposing him, she could lose some of her benefits. That is true. Animal says she was totally wrong for throwing the food down, and she was jealous because he takes care of his own. She knows the other men aren't doing a darn thing, and if they were, maybe the other kids wouldn't be hungry, or she needs to know how to spend those stamps. Wow, you're right. John Wall to the clips. All right, James, I just dropped my hate mail off. Okay, you shaking my head. All right, I'm rocking with y'all. There's a win. Court for custody today. All right. He deserves it and more. What? You trying to say the Kells deserve 30 years? Here go the antagonist of the show again. Well, let me tell you why I don't think Kells deserve that. Now, first of all, in years past, you could never have used a racketeering charge on a case like R. Kelly's. And y'all saying that now, but they locking Negro entertainers up left and right with racketeering. But here's the question I have. They gave Kells 30 years, but gave Giselle Maxwell 20 years, I believe. How she get 10 less years? She was kidnapping them, transporting them, sleeping with them. She was doing the whole process. James said him and some parents. They gave Giselle a 20 piece, but gave Kells 30 years. And we know for a fact through the evidence brought forth in Giselle's case, she was finding them, getting them, transporting them across state and international waters, sleeping with them herself and with others. Tell me how in the Sam Blazing Hills that the white girl who was doing it all. R. Kelly had some friends. Let's call Kells what he did. Kells had some homeboys that he was saying, look, I can't be seen going over there picking up shorty. Can you go super up for me? Now, I'm not saying that Kells wasn't wrong in what he did. Okay. But I want y'all to understand that Kell's got 10 more years. Now, Nikki said Maxwell deserves life. All right, we'll rock with you on that one. Truth on that one. Maurice said double standards. You, my brother, Maurice, you hit it right on the head. I just want y'all to say exactly what most of y'all are saying, that no, Ty, she wasn't just trafficking. She wasn't just trafficking. Let's call it what it is. We found out through court testimony, not trafficking means you just transporting them. She was trafficking them. She was finding them, trafficking them, paying them, and sleeping with them. Kells is accused of sleeping with him after his homeboys brought him over from the mall or wherever. That's why I said I'm not saying Kells didn't deserve some time. I told y'all from the start, Kells was going to get some time. But how is it two similar situations, both of them was racketeering, and one person who's a white woman, and to my Caucasian counterparts, I'm not hating because of her color. I just want to say this is some gender bias. How can she be sleeping with them, finding them, transporting them across international waters to some island so rich, crazy people can do whatever they want to them, and she only get a 20 piece? She get 10 years less than Kells. Come on now. All I'm saying, people, is when y'all see stuff like that, and for somebody that I know some of y'all like, I'm glad R. Kelly got the 20 years. Okay. But I'm glad at least some of you agreed that Maxwell should have got more time too. Let me see what my brother said. Already said they made an example of the brother because of his status. Oh yeah, they made an example of him. Star says straight up BS. You are absolutely right. And let me say something to y'all. For all of you all who letting all these racketeering charges just fly by night around y'all, they locking up. If you are a Negro male in the entertainment business, you better know who you're hanging around, who you shout out on your songs. And I'm not defending them because some of them just straight stupid. If you get up and write a song about you killing somebody or you doing alleged gang activity, stop acting like they ain't gonna get you. Okay? But you notice that how they are using this racketeering thing swiftly against Negroes in the entertainment industry. And so when your sons, your daughters, your favorite rapper, your favorite entertainer, because I'm surprised that they haven't got Trey Songz yet. He ought to be on the list coming up. If Kells is gone, Trey Songz should probably be gone. Truth be told, Nelly ought to be gone. I'm just saying the allegations out here on these gentlemen's alleged incidents, how Kells be the example? I'm just saying. And how is it that you can get a racketeering charge for R. Kelly? Nikki Carter said, don't commit the crime if you can't do the time. Well, you said one intelligent thing tonight. Let me ask you a question. And y'all tell me if y'all believe or feel the same way I do. How is it that you can get a racketeering charge against R. Kelly, but you have yet to be able to put together enough evidence to get a racketeering charge on Donald J. Trump? I just saw the case yesterday when they had the witness before the I-6 committee. They've been planning this. For racketeering, you got to have only one of, you got to have at least 3 of 5 different scenarios. We know they had a conspiracy. They conspired against a group of people to overthrow the government and to illegally change the will of the people through their voting. Okay. We also know that many of the things that they were doing were illegal we know that Donald Trump was crazy. Man, I don't know if y'all saw that, but let me see. April said, yeah, waiting on his downfall. Yeah, but when is it gonna come? If y'all saw that, if none of y'all had an opportunity to see it, I want y'all to go back because we ain't got no more time, but I want y'all to go back and watch the I-6 committee thing from yesterday. The young lady that was testifying said Donald Trump thought he was going to the Capitol and he was going to look like he was powerful. Hold on. They had plenty of evidence against Mr. Orange. They scared to go after him. Yeah, either they scared or they trying to. But let me tell you what she said. She said the dude got in the car after he got through making his little speech down at the spot. He was like, hey, yo, run me up to the Capitol. It's about to be on and popping. And so he was like, nah, Mr. President, we got to go to the West Wing. And he was getting mad and started cussing him out and everything. He was like, I'm the president. You take me up to the West Wing. I mean, you take me up to the to the Capitol. So the dude was like, Mr. President, that's not happening. We can't take you up there. It hasn't been cleared. Why they say this dude jumped from the back part of the vehicle and try to reach across and grab the steering wheel like he gonna drive himself from the back seat? My brother said, I agree, he deserves some time, but 20 years was extreme. Luckily, her counterpart got off by offing himself before he stood for trial. Right, that right there. But yeah, they said your boy Donald J messed around and tried to grab the steering wheel and say one of the Secret Service grabbed his arm and was like, hey, yo, you need to take your hand up off the steering wheel. And he tried to grab the dude up in the clavicle area. Donald Trump is tripping. R. Kelly may be a consolation for Roe versus Wade. Could be. I don't know, brother Size boy. But I'm saying this, look, people, I got to go. But I'm telling y'all, keep your eye on what's going on here in the real world. It's some real crazy stuff happening. One love.
Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It is on.
Run it with your friends. Come on.